the solar system. What is celestial objects? The stars, the planets, the moon, and many other objects in the sky are called celestial objects. Moon is the brightest object in the night sky. The study of celestial objects and associated phenomena is called astronomy. The moon. The moon is the Earth's natural satellite. The various shapes of the bright part of the moon, as seen during a month, are called phases of the moon. Phases of the moon. The moon does not produce its own light. The moon has light because of the sunlight falling on it gets reflected towards us. We see only the part of the moon from which the light of the sun is reflected towards us. The phases of the moon are new moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, third quarter, waning crescent. New moon. When the moon is between the earth and the sun, the bright side of the moon is facing away from the earth, which is known as a new moon. Waxing crescent. Waxing means the moon's illumination is growing, and crescent means less than half of the moon is illuminated. This moon phase signifies intention. First quarter. The first quarter moon is a primary moon phase when half of the moon's phase is lit up. The first quarter moon rises around midday and is visible in the dark sky. Waxing gibbous. The waxing gibbous phase is when the lit up part of the moon grows from 50.1% to 99.9%. Waxing means that it is getting bigger, and gibbous refers to the oval to round shape. Full moon. The full moon is the lunar phase when the moon appears fully illuminated from Earth's perspective. This occurs when the Earth is located between the sun and the moon. Waning gibbous. The waning gibbous is an intermediary phase in which the sunlit part of the moon will decrease from 99.9% to 50.1%. Third quarter. The third quarter moon is when the opposite half of the moon is illuminated compared to the first quarter. The third quarter moon is the last of the four primary moon phases. Waning crescent. The waning crescent is the last phase of the moon. During this phase, the illuminated part of the moon gets smaller and smaller until the cycle meets its end, starting again with the new moon. The waning crescent is meant to restore your thoughts and intentions. This is the picture of the phases of the moon. The moon's surface. The moon is a fascinating object for poets and storytellers. But when astronauts landed on the moon's surface, it's dusty and barren. There are many craters of different sizes. It also has a large number of steep and high mountains. Some are as high as the highest mountains on the earth. These are some pictures of the surface of the moon. Facts about moon. On July 21, 1969, the American astronaut Neil Armstrong landed on the moon for the first time. He was followed by Edwin Aldrin. The moon was formed when a Mars-sized body collided with Earth. Earth's natural satellite was called Moon because people didn't know other moons existed. Galileo Galilei discovered 4 moons orbiting Jupiter in 1610. It is the second densest satellite. The moon is made of rock and metal just like the Earth and other rocky planets. The crust, the moon's outer shell, is covered by lunar soil, a blanket of fine rock particles varying between 3 and 20 meters, 20 to 65 feet deep. What is a star? A star is a very large ball of bright glowing hot matter in space. That matter is called plasma. Star is held together by gravity. They give out heat and light because they are very hot. The sun is a star. There is a star called pole star which is situated near the Earth's axis and it doesn't move. The sun is nearly 150 million kilometers away from the Earth. The next nearest star is Proxima Centauri and the distance is about 40 trillion kilometers from the Earth. Such large distances are expressed in another unit known as light year. It is the distance travelled by light in 1 year. The speed of light is about 300,000 kilometers per second. The distance of the sun from the earth may be said to be about 8 light minutes. The distance of Alpha Centauri is about 4.3 light years. Constellations. The stars forming a group that has a recognizable shape is called a constellation. A constellation does not have only 5 to 10 stars. It has a large number of stars. However, we can see only the bright stars in a constellation with our naked eye. All stars which make up a constellation are not at the same distance. They are just in the same line of the sight in the sky. Some constellations are Ursa Major, Orion, Cassiopeia, and Leo Major. Ursa Major. Ursa Major, also known as Great Bear, is a constellation in the northern sky. Its Latin name means greater she-bear. Today, it is the third largest of the 88 modern constellations. Orion. Orion is a prominent constellation located on the celestial equator and visible throughout the world. It is one of the conspicuous and recognizable constellations in the night sky. It is named after Orion, a hunter in Greek mythology. Its brightest stars are blue-white Rigel and red Betelgeuse. Leo Major. Leo is located in the northern celestial hemisphere. Its name is Latin for lion and to the ancient Greeks represented the Nemean lion killed by the mythical Greek hero Heracles, meaning glory of Hera as one of his 12 labors. This is a diagram of the solar system. Solar system. The sun and the celestial bodies which revolve around it form the solar system. It consists of large number of bodies such as planets, comets, asteroids and meteors. The gravitational attraction between the sun and these objects keep them revolving around it. The 8 planets in their order of distance from the sun are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. The Sun. The Sun is the nearest star from us. It is continuously emitting huge amounts of heat and light. The Sun is the source of almost all energy on the Earth. In fact, the Sun is the main source of heat and light for all the planets. The planets. A planet has a definite path in which it revolves around the Sun. This path is called an orbit. The time taken by a planet to complete one revolution is called its period of revolution. The period of revolution increases as the distance of the planet increases from the Sun. Mercury. Mercury is nearest to the Sun. It is the smallest planet of our solar system. Mercury has no satellite. Venus. Venus is Earth's nearest planetary neighbor. It is the brightest planet in the night sky. It is often called a morning or evening star, although it is not a star. Earth. The Earth is the only planet in the solar system on which life is known to exist. From space, the Earth appears blue and green due to the reflection of light from water and land mass on its surface. Mars. The next planet The first outside the orbit of the Earth is Mars. It appears slightly reddish and therefore it is also called the red planet. Mars has two small natural satellites. Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet of our solar system. It rotates very rapidly on its axis. Jupiter has a large number of satellites. It also has faint rings around it. The red spot on the Jupiter is a tornado of speed 900 miles per hour. Saturn. Beyond Jupiter is Saturn, which appears yellowish in color. It has beautiful rings which are not visible with the naked eye. It also has a large number of satellites. One interesting fact about Saturn is that it is the least dense among all the planets and its density is less than that of water. Uranus and Neptune. These are the outermost planets of the solar system. They can be seen only with the help of large telescopes. Like Venus, Uranus also rotates from east to west. Inner and outer planets. The first four planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are much nearer to the Sun than the other four planets. They are called the inner planets and have very few moons. The planets outside the orbit of Mars, namely Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, are much farther off than the inner planets. They are called the outer planets and they have ring system around them and have large moons. Some other members of the solar system. There are some other bodies which revolve around the Sun. They are also members of the solar system. They are asteroids, comets, meteors, and meteorites. Asteroids. The gap between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, occupied by a large number of small objects that revolve around the Sun, is called asteroids. They can be seen through large telescopes. Comets. Comets revolve around the Sun in highly elliptical orbits. However, their period of revolution around the Sun is usually long. It appears generally as a bright head with a long tail. The length of the tail grows in size as it approaches the Sun and it is always directed away from the Sun. Meteors and Meteorites. The bright streaks of light in the sky is called meteors and is commonly known as shooting stars, although they are not stars. Some meteors are large and so they reach the Earth before they evaporate completely. The body that reaches the Earth is called a meteorite. Artificial satellites. Artificial satellites are man-made. They are launched from the Earth. They revolve around the Earth much closer than the Earth's natural satellite, the Moon. India has built and launched several artificial satellites. Aryabhatta was the first Indian satellite. Some other Indian satellites are INSAT, IRIS, Kalpana 1, EduSat, etc.